The year 2007 was an intricate mix of achievements and disasters, political milestones and political tensions, tremendous successes and abject failures. Perhaps it is best to sum up the past 12 months very simply as a motley arrangement of the very good, the very bad and the very ugly. But above and beyond all that, 2007 was truly a year to remember. Perhaps the first significant occurrence of the year, a sign of things to come, was the election of village councils countrywide. It was a process which took 4 weeks, and in the end the People's United Party won 103 villages while the UDP won 74 and 16 went to independent candidates. The elections not only proved that the tide had turned in the PUP's favour since municipal elections the year before, but also revealed an alarming trend of violence and desperation in the UDP which would become even more evident as the year progressed. That violence touched local Orange Walk journalist Jorge Aldana, who was slapped by UDP Orange Walk Central Standard Bearer Rosenda Urbina Sr. as he covered the elections. And apart from that pattern of violence and desperation, another trend had surfaced. The UDP councils across the country were unable to maintain basic infrastructure and drainage or efficiently collect garbage. In addition to that, months after taking office, most of them were broke. Financially incompetent, yes, but heartless and cold also. Early in the year, the tally of those fired by the Belize City Council was at 150 workers, many of them single mothers. Around this time, controversy bloomed as a proposal for government to incorporate universal health services into the public health system was opposed by a wide sector of the residents in Belize. The Prime Minister heeded the call of the people and instead committed to going the route of entertaining private party interests in UHS. Many thought the PUP would crumble under the pressure of the times, but like a true champion, the party emerged strong and united at its national convention held in Curacao, where the slogan "Believe in Belize" was launched.
Believe in Belize! Ustedes creen en Belize! ¿Usted cree en el Partido Unido del Pueblo? Siempre con el Partido Unido del Pueblo. Always PUP. Siempre adelante. Vámonos, compañeros. Hasta la victoria. Thank you very much.
And through all this, the United Democratic Party continued its campaign of violence. In the same month the PUP celebrated its national convention, a prominent UDP city councillor, Dean Samuels, was arrested and charged for pulling his gun and firing at a civilian while he was allegedly under the influence of alcohol. Instead of denouncing this action by his councillor, UDP leader Dean Barrow was caught on tape telling Mayor Zenaida Moya to lie to the police to protect Samuels.
While we regularize that, maybe we could hold that down because if the police know that the firearm is not for him, it means he can't.
And those weren't the UDP's biggest troubles. Just around this time, attorney Michael Perfit was under serious scrutiny after revelations that he had received a monetary award on behalf of a client but had not handed it over.
In the overall picture of things, in the overall scheme of things, I don't want to be disrespectful or condescending, but $30,000 is not a lot of money. We deal with bigger money than that on a daily basis.
But all the disasters during the year weren't man-made. It perhaps an ironic foreshadowing of potential destruction under governance by its namesake. Category 5 Hurricane Dean slammed into the northern tip of Belize. The catastrophic winds devastated homes, utilities, agriculture and other sectors. And again, under the leadership of the government of Belize, the National Emergency Management Organization and other organizations, Belize rebounded in fine fashion. Less than 2 weeks later, the country was affected by Tropical Depression number 6, which dumped inches of rain all over the country. This natural disaster brought into true focus the disaster caused by UDP municipal neglect, as poorly maintained drains and infrastructure brought traffic to a literal standstill. But rather than fixing the obvious internal problems of the party, the UDP continued its trend of violence and complete lack of control. An incident over a political sign in Belize City will forever be a black eye for the UDP, as Mayor Zenaida Moya and hired thugs aggressed police personnel with a chainsaw, and Moya was caught on tape attacking a journalist who was filming the incident. That desperation was not limited to Belize City, and from the northern district of Orange Walk, new levels of stupidity within the UDP were born in no other than the UDP deputy leader, Gaspar Vega. But even more than the willingness to sell their mothers to win elections, the words which shocked the nation and struck fear in the hearts of many first-time landowners, rural residents, and all those deserving Belizeans who receive land under the PUP government came from the UDP leader, Dean Mr. Kitar Barrow. The PUP government in just over 9 years in office handed out over 67,000 land titles and lease certificates to Belizeans. Throughout 2007, that process continued across the country, in all corners of Belize. No Belizean was denied a piece of land because of political affiliation, a stark contrast to the stated intent of Dean Barrow. On September 29th, the People's United Party celebrated 57 years of service to the nation of Belize. It was a meaningful day culminating in a massive rally in Orange Walk town, where the unity of the party was in full effect. And despite all the efforts by the UDP to undermine the stability of the country, our bright stars continued to shine. And the Palacio and the Garifuna Collective put together what is now a world-renowned musical album, Watina. The album soared to number 1 on the world European charts. Palacio was given the prestigious title of Artist for Peace by UNESCO. And the youths wouldn't be left out, as the Masters of the Floor competition organized by Positive Vibes brought out the best of the best to show off their skills in clean, constructive competition. The annual Lord Rayburn Awards also dominated the musical scene in 2007 as the best talents of Belizeans from home and abroad combined for an unforgettable experience. And other achievements were significant. The Southside Project brought new life to the area of Belize City, bringing hope, new opportunities, and a better quality of life to thousands of residents. The government's free textbook program was also one of the biggest successes in 2007. More than 65,000 primary school students across the country received access to free quality textbooks. This move was criticized by the UDP, but widely acclaimed by the education stakeholders, teachers, parents, and students. As the PUP government worked to better the lives of Belizeans, the UDP continued to self-destruct. 6 senior managers resigned from the Belize City Council due to conflicts with the councillors and Mayor Zenaida Moya. Internally, the councillors were locked in a vicious power struggle while the city continued to be neglected and the garbage situation became the worst it had ever been. In Orange Walk, the long-awaited cogeneration project reached implementation stage. The project, which will see the waste product of processed sugar cane being used to provide energy, represents an investment of $62 million, the largest in Belize's history. The energy generated will supply approximately 20% of the country's demands. The Get a Life program was launched, an initiative of the Ministries of Home Affairs, Youth and Housing. 200 disadvantaged youths are being given the opportunity to learn a trade while earning money. And heading into the end of the year, the country's prognosis continues to be favorable. The latest report on Belize by Standard & Poor's has upgraded the country to B status, which is favorable. The latest report on Belize by the UNDP says Belize is a good country, with per capita GDP up to $14,400. Life expectancy up from 72 to 76. The nation has gone up in ranking from 95 to 80. Latest unemployment statistics show a drop to 8.5% from 14% under the UDP. The PUP government made the landmark decision to push for an elected Senate and voted to ask the Belizean people for their input in a referendum. The UDP voted against an elected Senate, and at the same House meeting also voted against the Caribbean Court of Justice, both decisions which will go down in history as a black mark against the party. And with the year at the end, Prime Minister Musa is close to wrapping up a countrywide consultation tour, taking the PUP message to the people and asking them to believe in the progress, to believe in the party, and to believe in Belize. And there you have it, as we promise a whirlwind compilation of the very good, the very bad, and the very ugly in our nation for the year 2007. The PUP continues to invest in the country, invest in the people, and invest in the way forward. As we head into the new year, there's no better way to say it. Decision time is here. Believe in Belize.